Everybody, we want to welcome you once again to the African Beat
and Caribbean Heat Podcast.
My name is Obadolas, aka Dolaman.
And I am Queen Teah. Welcome back to our podcast.
Yes, we love you guys and we're happy to have you back again.
Yes.
Like I always say, I want to say something in my language, in my country, Igbo, and it's Chukwu Goziun Kunsieme or Chukwu Goziun Neme. Meaning God bless whatever you guys are doing, your hard work, your business, whatever you're doing, let God bless it. So it's called Chukwu Gozie Neme. So yeah.
Love that. What
are we talking about today?
Oh man, I don't know. What do you want to talk about today?
I'm trying to see if we can talk about the N-word, use of N-word in relationship and family.
The N-word, like nice? Is that the N-word you're talking about?
Nah, like
naughty? Is that what you're talking about?
Like nigga.
Whoa. Okay, we're talking about that N-word.
Yeah,
okay.
That N-word,
okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So what kind of inspired you to want to talk about the N-word?
Because I've seen a lot of like people in a relationship and they call their men like N-word. I feel like words have power, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And if you're calling somebody a dummy that you love, you never know what that will change to, right? So I feel like the N-word does a lot in this fusion of relationship.
Okay.
Where it doesn't show respect to a man, even though it has a history to it.
Yeah.
So I feel like we gotta start talking to each other differently, especially in relationship. Because I asked a friend, like, would you call your dad the N-word? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, damn, that's deep.
Yeah.
I couldn't even call my dad like in my language like stupid or or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because you gotta have respect for your dad.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, here kids call their dad the N-word.
They call each other that.
They call each other like there's no boundaries to that, and that's a negative word.
Yeah. So I remember growing up in the Caribbean. That was not something that we did regularly either. Like we back then did not use the N-word to address each other. You feel me? So growing up in the Virgin Islands, it's predominantly black. The communities now is a little bit more integrated since a couple some decades, but we never used the N-word when we're addressing each other. So it wasn't until I moved to the States and, being around, Black Americans and hearing somebody use the N-word, like I was offended. And it was like one black person calling another black person the N-word. And it threw me off because I've been taught that word is negative. That word is negative is used to, it's a derogatory term that's used to, bring down a race of people. But what was explained to me was that, Black Americans have taken on that word and use it as like a term of endearment, like a greeting, like you say, like that's my boy, that's my N-word. And I was like, oh, okay. So it's like they took it and now they're using it and they're like disarming it by taking away the negative sting. But like, it to me it still doesn't feel right.
yeah, because if you're using it for like to co-share with your boy, right? But we don't love each other. We kill each other. We hate each other. We don't get along. We always disfavoring each other. So what's the point of it if we're not a community, a group that are together?
That's a good point.
Because if you look at the Chinese, you look at other groups, they're united. But we as black people, we don't like it. You have blacks want to be out from the African black. The African black want to be out from the American black.
Yeah.
Why are we dividing each other
and
using that word if it's meant to show that this is my guy, we're together? Because I always tell people, right, I had a friend, right, that called me the N-word. I said, man, don't ever call me the N-word.
Right.
Call me my name
Yeah.
or like King, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta be proud of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have good vibes of yourself.
Yes.
So I said, don't call me that word. And then they said because of slavery. I said, listen, I understand the slavery, but your forefathers, right, that was in slavery, might be my uncle. Because we're all one.
Yeah.
You don't know which Africa you. The only difference between me and a person that was born here and that they call African American, I call them African. It's just differentiating. I'm from Nigeria, Africa, and but the way I see you guys, we're all African.
Correct. Yeah.
The only difference that I know, I'm from Biafra, soon to be Biafra, but right now Nigeria. Or this person's from Senegal, and you in America, right?
Yeah.
But we are one. Your ancestors might be my great grandfather, or my great uncle. So the lineage is there, the blood is there. I don't even know if me and you are brothers and sisters.
That's
because
true.
The blood.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's the same thing. And in Africa, one person in the family, right, will go out and fight and do progress for the members of the family to be okay.
Okay.
That's why they call generational wealth, right?
Yeah.
Generational wealth is passed on from generation to generation. Right. So one person will struggle, fight, and make the other people generation to be okay. The younger ones growing up. So maybe our forefathers, which was maybe your grandfather, fought for us to be okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're all brothers and sisters. We gotta stop that dissolution of that we don't like each other.
Yeah.
Because I remember growing up, I have so many stories where you have your own African American in high school calling Africans African Buddhist culture. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I understand that the media in America, that's why media is powerful. They show that some people live in forests or trees, and that sin is. Yeah. It's a big lie.
Yes. Yeah.
We live very comfortable.
Yeah.
We have issues like every country.
Sure,
right?
absolutely.
But we live very comfortable.
Yeah.
So because of that, they think different of us, right? So when we Africans come here in high school, primary school, they make us feel like we're not inferior. That we get more acknowledgement from the other race. Yeah. Which is not fair. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I feel like the N-word, I'm gonna give you an example, right? Okay. There was a day, 10 years ago, I was walking in the street. I was trying to cross the street, right? So there was this white dude, right? Okay. And his car, waiting for me as a pedestrian to walk. I was in my phone, so I wasn't paying attention, right? So he was waiting for me, and he's like, I ain't waiting. Then he drove, then I walked, and he matched the brake. I'm like, oops, sorry. And he called me N-word. He said, N-word, this and that and that. I looked at him like, hey, my N-word. You know what I mean? Because me, I'm positive, right? Because when I come here, I heard the N-word is just a nice way of saying stuff. Yeah. And then I greeted him back as the N-word. Thank you, N-word. Sorry, my N. He's white. He's like, what the hell is wrong with this dude? Because he was trying to see if I was gonna be mad. Yeah. Or I'm gonna curse him. But I reciprocated positivity. So he was confused.
That threw him off, right?
Yeah, he was standing there looking at me like, what's wrong with this guy?
What is going on?
Because he thought I was gonna curse him out or do something, but I didn't.
That's what they're used to.
Yeah. So we gotta understand that words are powerful, and like a guy calling a guy N-word, I mean, for me, don't call me that. Sure. But I don't have issue. But a girl calling her boyfriend or the boyfriend calling her the B word, I don't see that as cool because word has power. Yeah. We gotta understand that words have very powerful consequences. So let's change that word when you see your guy. Yeah. Call him king. Yeah. Call him baby. Call him my love. Nice words. That makes the guy nice. So that he won't call you B word. He'll call you my queen, my baby. Don't you like that more?
Of course.
Than calling you B word?
Yes. Any man that I deal with that calls me the B word, don't even play. Don't ever play and let that word part from your lips toward me, because it's a wrap for me. I mean, it's definitely a level of respect. But I want to say something. So you did mention earlier about the perception of Africa and Africans. And I had an experience when I first moved here to the United States. And I was in college. And at the table having breakfast. I think I was having breakfast, and some guy, it was a black guy, like, oh, you from the islands, aren't you? I'm like, I said, yes, I am. And he said, so do y'all like wear shoes down there? I said, excuse me? He's like, yeah, don't y'all like live in huts and stuff and wear grass skirts? I'm like, you have got to be kidding. Like, I was like, are you serious? Like, are you for real? I said, that's really unfortunate. I said, I'm not sure where you got that reference from, but that's not how I lived. You know what I'm saying? I lived on an island the same way how you lived here in Columbus. You know, we live in apartments and houses, we drive cars, we go to school, we wear clothing, we wear shoes. You know, we don't live in huts and stuff like that. So, like, for you to assume that's someone's experience, for me, that's ignorance, yes. Right? So instead of you asking me questions, you're assuming because I'm from a certain region of the world that, and that, like you said, the media shows it's just like one little part of the totality of an area or a situation. You think that's representative of everybody. Mm-hmm. So I agree with you that the media played a really big part in how Americans, especially Black Americans, view Africans, right? So it's unfortunate to hear that, you know, they would refer to people born on the continent, because we're all African. Yes. People born on the continent of Africa, calling them African booty scratcher and all this other like derogatory stuff, right? To kind of like, you know, to degrade them. And it comes from a place of ignorance. Yes. And then when you have adults who are perpetuating that nonsense and not teaching their kids to be better and do better, shame on the parents for that too. But what I'm starting to see now is that people are now more than ever embracing their African heritage. You can see from the big influence with the music right now in the culture. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people
Shout out to Davido.
Hey, a lot of people are like, you know, doing a pilgrimage back to Africa. You know, they're trying to figure out where their lineage is and going to those villages and meeting people from tribes and stuff like that, and embracing the culture, the attire, the lingo, the customs, all of those things. And I believe that once we continue to build that connection back to our heritage, people will understand that that N-word is just used to divide us, right? And it strips you of the power that you have as kings and queens. So I like your approach of like when somebody addresses you in that way, that you quickly correct them.
Yes, I don't understand.
Yeah, you quickly correct them. You say, nah, like my name is such and such. You don't use my name.
Or you call me king.
Yeah, but you don't call me that because I'm not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like you don't refer to me as such. But I want to talk about, you were saying like in relationships, like you've observed like a lot of women let me preface, Black women referring to their men, their boyfriends, their husbands, who are also Black as the N-word. And you got a big problem with that.
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't think it's cool because words has a lot of power.
Yeah.
And if you love a guy, use nice words because men's we're egoistic in nature. So if you want to get something from us, you gotta like,
hey baby,
use nice
honey.
Words before you realize you got it and then we regret it.
Hey my love.
Yeah, something like that. You know, so like when you use negative words, that relationship is gonna be toxic.
Okay.
It's gonna be negative.
Yeah. Because
there's no boundary of feminism. I mean, there's no boundary of womanity and manity. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it becomes where there's a like conflict of, you know, the same level kind of stuff, right?
Okay.
So because I always ask, like, would you tell your dad that? To my greatest surprise, people tell their dad that.
Yeah.
Like I cannot tell my dad, like in my country, like me and my guy can be joking, and we call each other like maybe like dumb or like my G. I'm not gonna come to my dad and say, hey, what's up, G?
What's up, G? Yeah.
like that don't make sense.
I know, but that's the culture here. You know what I'm saying? So like Black Americans, That's how they've assimilated. That's how they.
Yeah, but they complain that women don't give them respect. Women's, you said something, women's masculinity, right? That's part of masculinity. When you see a guy, hey, my N word, like New York, they do that a lot. Like you see a girl, hey, my, I said, whoa.
Even the girls,
I said, whoa, where like that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but that, if I was attracted to you, you do that, I'm no more attracted.
No more attracted. Yeah, but that's just the culture, right? So like, I get it.
But is it working?
Maybe for them it works, but for me it doesn't.
I mean, why I say does it work? It means there's high percentage of people complain about disrespect and masculinity, right?
Sure. From women,
right? I feel like that adds up. Because if a woman is saying, words has power, right? The way you talk to me shows me how much you respect me.
Sure.
If I'm coming to you and I'm like, do this and that and that, I want you to be like this, I don't respect you. I said, please, can you do this for me? You see how I calm down and talk to you?
Sure.
That shows I have respect to you.
Yeah.
Then me like, hey, I want you to do that.
Right.
That, like you my maid, you know what I mean?
Correct, yeah.
So words have power. If we say, okay, what is not working for us? I believe for me personally, the N word is not working for us in relationship.
Yeah.
Women learn how to say king, your king, my baby, my love.
Yeah.
Men learn how to say queen, my baby, my love, my everything.
Right.
And not my B word or my N word.
Don't say it.
It's negative.
Right.
And negative inspires negative. It's like calling a child that is useless, he will never become anything. The child might grow up like, you know what, my dad said I'm useless. I'm useless.
Exactly. Yeah, that's so true.
You could tell the child you're gonna be good, like nah, my dad said this.
Yeah.
That's it.
So one of the things that you said I thought was really powerful was, you said when someone had addressed you and called you the N-word, like you quickly corrected them and you said you either use my name or call me king. And I think in the Western world, if you were to see a guy and he says, oh, call me king, they're going to think like, oh, he's arrogant. He's full of himself, But you got to challenge that because it's a mindset thing, right? So if you carry yourself in a way that is kingly, and here's the thing too, like if you're going to tell somebody to call you a king or a queen, you got to carry yourself accordingly. Because what they say, what's the saying? Heavy is the head that wears the crown. That's the saying, right? So if you want somebody to call you a king, you want somebody to call you a queen, you got to carry yourself accordingly. Right? So yeah, in that moment, if somebody addresses you in a derogatory way, which for them in other social spaces, that works, but for you it doesn't, and you say, hey, don't address me that way, this is how you should address me, and you got to maintain that same energy. You got to be able to live up to being a king, because it's more than just a title. Like there's responsibility that follows that as well. So I like the fact that you say that, that you carry yourself in a way that is really respectable. It's like you demand respect.
Yes.
You feel me? Like you walk into a space and it's not like you tell people like the king is here, you need to respect me. Like they feel the energy, they feel the aura, you know what I'm saying? So they know like, oh, you different. Like, I can't handle him that way. And then there may be some women that try to test it. You know what I'm saying? Because we like to do that sometimes.
I like to press that.
We like to test to see where he's at, see what we can do, what we can get away with. But I think for me, when it comes to a man that knows who he is, and demands respect, and is also kind and respectful to others, I think is a very attractive quality in men. But I don't know that a lot of our men here in America have that mindset.
Yeah, that's why I think that's why I say I think it's a issue. It's one of the issues why a relationship is collapsing.
Okay.
And nobody has respect for each other because you gotta let people how you want to be treated.
Yes, I agree.
People don't know how to treat you until you let them know how to be treated.
Correct.
And words have power, whereby if your girlfriend is calling you the N-word, and you guys have kids, these kids see that and they call you the N-word. So the kids don't have respect for you.
Yeah.
Your girl don't have respect for you.
Yeah.
you can't be mad at that.
Yeah,
because you created that facility where kids, you tell a kid, this is what you like, my aunt, I'm not doing that, F you and all that stuff. That's disrespect. You can't blame that kid because the kid grew up where the mom calls the dad the N word, and the dad calls the mom the B word, and is acceptable. And they don't know how to handle that, and they grew up like that. When a woman calls you whatever name she wants, there's no respect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because when a woman wants to talk to you, she has to think. How can she talk to you?
Yeah.
How can she make peace? Right? And if she knows, if she knows, that's why you have a lot of African Americans liking Africans more. You know what I mean? Because they say we're too masculinity and stuff like that.
Okay.
But we're human beings, right?
Yeah.
You gotta know how to talk to each other.
Yeah.
The N word is negative, and that's my personal view, right?
Sure.
I might be right, I might be wrong, right?
Yeah.
But if we're talking about why relationship is not working, why men are saying women don't have respect, why women are masculinity, why women are not in a woman's role or attribute to a man, we gotta also add that it's because we allow them to call us the N-word, which is negative. It's not a good word.
Yeah.
Once we eliminate that, she calls us baby with a nice tone, honey, king, you see the difference. And then you don't call her the B word, you call her my queen, my love, my everything, you see the difference.
Okay.
Just that word, you see how I say it right now? It makes your body relax compared to me saying the N word. You're like, it makes you like, always.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's situational though. I hear what you're saying, right? And so not all Black people use the N word. Again, like for me, have I used it before? Yes. It's not something I use regularly. No, not at all. And just like regular day to day, that's not how I operate. That's not what I do. Do I have friends, people that I'm around that use the word? Yeah. I just choose in those situations just to kind of not, worry about it, whatever. No one's addressed me that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But